Was watching you speak on the live stream. Really nice.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, excited for it. It's gonna be pretty cool experience. Hey, Brooke, how are you? Gabe, by the way, I need to coordinate with you on the ETH Latam topic. Um, yeah, I will hit you up um, later or tomorrow because I think it will be cool if we go there.
Good morning, guys. Is this a town hall for all of us, or did I just have this on my calendar wrong?
Hey, Brooke. No, it's
Hi.
Octant
Same
Town
as each
Hall,
week?
public town hall for same as each week, open
Okay.
to everyone. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm currently in 11th place, so I'm good.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I know that
That's good to
fluctuates,
hear.
but like obviously last week I was struggling a little bit with being in a popularity contest, but I've accepted it and here we are.
Nice. Yeah, and this is also, I think I mentioned it last week. This is all a big experiment because, yes,
Totally.
it's a popularity contest, but also it's a sort of like popularity within a very specific niche that sometimes is also
Yes.
really hard to reach, right? So really
Right.
don't overthink it too much. Like
No,
I know it's
definitely.
tough, but I know it's easier to say than do, but um
And anything
it's
new is is an unknown, especially for those of us that like to, know something in total before. So there was just a few of us that were like, we just don't understand it, and but it's becoming clearer, and I'm just grateful to, even be here. But then when there's money on the line, you're like, okay, what more can I do? How do I make this happen? I've been wanting to make this show happen for so long that like now that it's right there, I'm like, I can't make it happen unless there's a substantial amount of funding. So, yeah, anyway, I don't want
right, yeah, makes
to, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
um Yeah, but also beyond the funding that you can get from Octant, at least in my eyes, I think the longer term effects we hope are strong as well. Like
I was gonna
I
say that is that my director and my co-producer, which is just my boyfriend, I shouldn't say that. He's actually doing a lot behind the scenes. We're saying that as well because I am getting like people are reaching out to me like, well, how do I vote for you? And I'm like, well, we'll probably set something up afterward, maybe in Argentina, where like if people do want to sort of crowdfund this, then they can. I never really thought to do that, but you're right. Like this is going to be the catalyst to kind of like move into different directions and kind of like look for funding in other ways. So you're absolutely right. This is just kind of the starting point, and I have to look at it that way. I'm not see it so short-sighted, because there is definitely other interest in it, in helping fund the show. So, yeah, so it's definitely like this is getting the word out essentially. Like I had a bunch of people repost things yesterday when my director announced that he's on the team, and so that was a big deal, for me and for the show. So like it's actually happening kind of thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, great to hear. I don't know if you
Yeah.
shared those news already here on the Discord, but that would be perfect to be shared in the Project Shield Zone, for example,
I
so
did.
people know the latest. Oh, nice.
It was
I
kind of
I
a
couldn't
weird
see
post.
there's so much stuff. I'm
Oh, I did. You know what? I was told to put it in off-topic convos. So you're saying put it in Project Chill Zone? Because
Oh,
man.
right. Yeah, I would recommend you do in Project Shieldzone, especially if it's related to
Oh,
your project. Project Shieldzone is the best place. If off-topic combos is for more, if it doesn't have anything to do
I must
with
have
either Octant
misunderstood
or
that.
your project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe like one of our moderators might have also misunderstood that and
Yeah.
and
Okay.
directed you wrong or something. So apologies for that, but that's the way to share. And
Okay.
also, I wanted to share with you, if you're thinking more long term on how to fund your show, because I'm also really looking forward to seeing it. I laugh my ass off with the what's it called, Between Two Ferns.
Yeah.
I remember like watching it like when it came out like a long time ago. I love this sort of
It's a very specific
absurd
type
sort
of
of,
humor. Yes.
yeah.
It's very
So I'm really
specific.
looking forward to it. Um,
And we
I
had another
recommend
idea.
you. Oh,
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I just
No,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
suggest to you like a couple of platforms where you can continue your fundraising efforts.
Yeah.
Juicebox, I don't know if you know it, but it
No,
can
what
be
is it?
quite. There you can raise funds for anything basically, and there are in a very permissionless way, no KYC, etc. So it's very easy for people to contribute. Maybe you remember
Oh,
Constitution DAO back in, when was that?
yeah.
2018, I think, or something. They used Juicebox for that, but also Assange DAO and
Did you say
Moon DAO,
juice
I think.
box?
Juicebox,
Okay,
that
juice box.
money. I put the link in the
Oh, I
chat
see
here in
it.
the town
I
hall.
didn't have the chat open. Okay.
And I
Thank
know
you.
that People Pleaser, like Shibuya, is basically a crowdfunding platform for media, right? So maybe there's
Oh,
something there. I mean, they're also one of our cohort.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like they're a little bit like the superstar, I guess, of the cohort. So they they're not as active because they recently got an Emmy and all that. So it's
Oh, right. Right, right, right.
uh,
Yep.
probably that's keeping them busy. But I'm sure if you tell them you're cohort 9, you can reach out to them and
I will. I'm putting these all in
figure out if
my
there's
links over
options
here.
there.
And then I actually had a conversation yesterday with the people from Farcaster because they just started a TikTok and they wanted me to come on and like consult for them because their TikTok is atrocious. And so she was because the girl who's with Farcaster, she's also one of the producer, the Ethereum Vitalik story. And so there was this whole, um,
All right,
connection, between all of
Linda.
us. Linda, yes, thank you. And she was like, come on Farcaster, and there's like a crowd fund app that you can just put in there, like this is how much I'm trying to raise. So there's definitely yeah, I was like, I'm not just gonna put an ETH address on Twitter and be like, hey, donate to the cause. But you're absolutely right. Like I had a long conversation with not to make this whole thing about me, but I only see us here. So I
Yeah,
had a long conversation with the director yesterday about like different, not just the Ethereum leaders, but I could branch off into because you know how Zach Galifianakis does, the political leaders. Like I personally think the Hillary Clinton one was the funniest because she just like you knew she just didn't want to be there. Barack Obama definitely like he was acting, he loved it, whatever. Um but like there's also when he does the ones with his friend actors. And so I have a bunch of influencer friends that would totally be down for like that style where they come on and it's like normally they're up and funny on social media, but if we do one that's just deadpan where I'm like, yeah, your content's just not that good, and just like then the staring back and forth, it would be so easy to get that to work because then those guys are that of course they'll do new content. Of course they'll do a show that's gonna show them funny or whatever. So there's just a lot of different ways to go. um, but the cost is getting us to each location. Because that's cheaper than setting up a studio like in LA and having people come there. Um, so yeah, like that's the cost. It isn't just going to like me doing content. It's like it's a full production.
Yeah, makes sense. And thinking about that, there's also maybe options for, all right, because no, it actually does. You do need to set up like a small studio because of how
Yeah.
it's set up. So no, my idea wouldn't work. But yeah, I totally understand. It's
Well, the cheapest way that we're going to do it is like we have portable, really good cameras, because there has to be three set up. That's the whole thing is like in order to get the actual facial expressions and the shots directly, you have to have three set up. Those are $1,000 a piece, you know. And then, we're going to try to do it at conferences where you will probably find multiple people at the same time, and then we'll set it up in an Airbnb because everyone's like, well, shouldn't it be the same background every time? And I'm like, no, because that'll make it funnier. It's sort of like the news, like Dateline, they go to wherever the story is and they set up like in the person's living room or in so I'm like following that kind of track is like, yeah, the background might be different. Maybe we'll put a sheet up. It's not going to be exactly like Between Two Ferns, it's not going to be exact
right. Yeah, it doesn't have
because
to.
you're right. Like there's still going to be my laughter, like you saw in the Charles Hoskinson one, because that's part of my humor. Part of my comedy, I guess, is like the laugh and my expressions. But part of the B-roll is going to be each time we get to a new location, trying to find the right plant because there's going to be a different one every time. Because how am I going to travel with like a giant plant? And it'll be funnier to have a different one every time. Some of them small that
Right.
I just like hold in my lap, and then some of them like these giant ones. So you get the idea.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could just make it so that at each location you just find and go to the Airbnb with the
Yes.
highest amount of potted plants. I'm in an Airbnb here in
Yes.
Buenos Aires, and I'm already seeing the potential.
Oh, you're in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, I'm already here.
That's right. Oh, I'm gonna put you to work, sir. That Yeah, because I actually will be there. So will Evan. We're hosting the Polka Dot Sub-Zero conference from like I'll get there on the 11th, and then our conference is the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Hopefully you can check that out. Evan and I are
Nice.
running the two stages.
I I,
Um,
I
yeah.
signed up to the Block Ravers party, which is I think part of it as well. So
Oh
at least
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
those
That'll
things
be
is
so fun.
in there. Yeah, Block Ravers are always throw great parties.
Durgadas says that he'd be the absolute awkwardest interview ever. I love that. Here's the thing, Zergadas, you kind of have to be a, big influencer. And I mean, maybe you are, and I just didn't know. But the funniest part is when it's somebody who like thinks very highly of themselves, like a Charles Hoskinson. Um, by the way, I'm also running into the part of I cannot go to Vitalik with my proof of concept because he hates Charles Hoskinson so much. So I'm
Right.
running into a problem there. Is that like I'm gonna have to do other episodes first to be able to show him that. And if I can get somebody from Ethereum, first, and then try to, show Vitalik, and there's a whole process to that too. Um, but the guys from the Vitalik story, Zach, have, he's been really helpful for me as well because I messaged him like, hey, any advice on getting on Vitalik's radar for this show? Because that's the holy grail to have Vitalik, do that. And thankfully, I can do a show in 5 minutes. Like he doesn't have to sit for 30 minutes like Charles did, because it's going to be like 5, 6 minute clip. Anyway, sorry, I'm just like talking through all this because, oh, he says no, he's not an influencer, but he's too precious about my ideas. That's the best. Like when somebody's so precious and so serious about their shit, and then I'm just come in like, how Zach's like to Brad Pitt, like, is it hard for you to maintain a suntan? Like, what does that have to do with anything, I'm cracking myself up already. We just have to like not take ourselves so seriously.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Donnie, by the way, great to
Yeah,
see
hi
you here.
Donnie.
I owe you an answer, by the way. I need to talk with James today. Um, we'll let you know. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Everybody's on their own time.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
who's Griff and
today,
Kevin,
like
Donnie?
Griff Green, the founder of Giveth,
Oh
and Kevin
yeah.
Owocki, the founder of Gitcoin, I think. Let me
Correct.
list
Right.
their projects or their.
Donnie, I don't think we've met.
Yes.
Are you a part of the Octant community or are you one of our cohorts?
I'm part of the Octant community. I will be donating, delegating. I come to these things so I can learn all about you guys.
Oh, so you haven't yet. And I'm the only one here that is right because Gabe, Nico, and Durgadas are on the Octant team, and I am the only one here. So I would like to answer any questions that you have about my project so that you donate to me.
Um, the funny thing is, like, I do things differently. I've been doing this for, I don't know, I guess I've been around the Octant crew as long as
Yeah,
Octant's
tell
been
me.
around. But I love digging deep on the projects that are involved. I always learn so much about I don't know, in the past about Ethereum, about the way things operate, like really interesting projects
Right.
that are, being done. Um, with this one is really funny to me because everybody else you could start digging deep and you get in their GitHub and you start, digging around.
Right.
Creators, you haven't really had that and I haven't found, all of the things to really look into, but it seems like, and Nico, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but almost every one of you guys that are creators are also very deeply embedded in the blockchain space.
Yes. Yes.
So
I
I'm
will.
curious, you were mentioning that you're there for the Sub-Zero for Polkadot and DevCon. Like, what all are your affiliations outside of your creator thing for this round that you're doing?
Yeah, I would love to
What's the
answer.
story of Brooke?
So let me ask you this though. When you go to the Octant, projects page, is so we have like everything listed there, and then my website goes to my Notion page, which I can, of course, update. And I have like links there to my social media. Is that like, is it almost like TLDR, too long, I'm not going to read that kind of thing? Are you looking for more of a really short summary on that list where you can just learn really quickly who the person is, or do you click in and then kind of read through the description and then at the bottom, click out to the link that's listed there?
I'm one of those I click out to the links because
Okay,
I
so
trust
have
Octant and
you
I know that
checked?
the links are safe. So I do
Right. Yeah,
follow through with
Durgadas
all of
was
that.
amazing for that. Um, yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure if you have clicked out to the link. Would love to share my screen if I could, um, and to show that for me personally. So there's of course 30 of us, right? And most of the first, let me say this: I have noticed that the 8 epochs before, or I guess 9, have obviously been very technical infrastructure and you know software and that type of thing. So this is new for the Octant community to understand. And I think I will share my screen in just a second. I'm very aware of how everyone knows who Zach XBT is because we just do. And I feel like he's very technical and that's why he's, at the top. And I get that. I know him personally. So not like doxed or anything, but so a lot of us come from like different places, not on crypto Twitter. So, and Evan just came in and he also is a TikTok content creator. So I've been in the crypto world since the cypherpunk movement. We were mining Bitcoin from the beginning to buy things off Silk Road. And for us, it was a political movement, you know, most of it, because of what happened in 2008. So, you know, like you said, I'm heavily embedded in the crypto world. It just happens to be that I found that content creation was the best way to educate and entertain. So I think that's why mine gets like a little bit lost in the mix because it is humorous. And there's really only one other project in the Epoch that is funny, and it's the animation one. All the rest very entertaining, very educational, all of that. So when Ethereum came around, it was kind of this like world changing for blockchain technologists because oh my gosh, we can, you know, build on the blockchain. And in so I've always been in tech as well, Web 2 tech. I probably should say I was in Web 0 tech, worked on the Y2K bug. I've been around a while, and I've always been able to educate people in an easier way, like break things down into a much easier way to think about them. So in 2020, I got onto TikTok, mainly because I just wanted to laugh during the, you know, quarantine, and I found that like because of my humor, I was able to really reel people in. I really truly believe that people remember you for how they make you feel and not how, you know, what you said. And of course, humor really pulls us together. And so if you have seen Between Two Ferns, my project is called Amongst a Potted Plant, and it is a Between Two Ferns for Ethereum, and then hopefully, you know, branching off from that into, you know, different sectors like influencers and like people that you wouldn't normally see be kind of deadpan funny. But up until this point, I have been doing crypto content on TikTok, short form video. I have 300,000 followers. I would say half of it is sort of the funny, irreverent. At first, I was just doing these sort of like one-liners, and people were using that to create videos for themselves. That was an interesting place for me to be. And I think my very first blockchain video was late 2020. And so on my TikTok page, I have a um, what's called a playlist. I don't know if you're on TikTok. That's kind of the problem here too, is that most of the Octant community is, or it's not a problem, but it's one of the things we're dealing with as TikTok creators. Is if you're not on TikTok and you need to go and like look at my past stuff, I have tried to put those videos in the Notion page so that you don't actually have to go to TikTok. If you do, there's a playlist and it can actually show how far back I've been doing crypto content. Um, and so back then I was doing, hey, just want to explain blockchain, and people just thought I was saying Bitcoin, and they're like, where do we buy this blockchain you speak of? You know, and it was just kind of this funny, like, sort of vivisection of how the world viewed crypto and blockchain. It was like, oh, I'm way too early kind of thing. And so it's moved forward. And a couple years ago, I had an opportunity to interview Charles Hoskinson. My content isn't interview style, but I was like, oh, I'm not giving up this opportunity. And so I walked in with a potted plant in my hand, and that video is on my Notion. Um, and yeah, if you don't mind, and I know there's others here, I promise I won't take up too much more time. But I'd like to show you the page, social media, Epoch, uh, amongst a potted plant. Oh, I can't stream to this. I'm not sure how to share my screen. It says I can't stream into this channel. Is that not? It doesn't matter. I'll put the link here.
Oh, there
You-
might
It's okay.
not be permissions.
Yeah, Donnie,
Yeah, but
I'll
if you like
put the
to
link in.
share anything, please drop a link in the chat, and I can share you a link
Oh,
too.
oh, okay. Yeah, let me and that's also the link that it's also the link that's on the website, and pottedplant.com. It's amongstapottedplant.com.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah. It's
yeah.
the same
Oh,
as your Twitter profile, right?
I'm sorry.
It's the same as your Twitter
Yes.
profile.
Um,
Give me a
no.
second.
Let me.
It's this one, right?
There's the Notion site that it all. Yes. Yeah, that one that I put in the chat there is the information. And then, oh, here we go. Okay, yes, thank you. Um, so the proof of concept, Donnie, is that I want to show the Ethereum leaders in a different light. I think so much of the technical jargon gets lost in, the kind of the echo chamber of the people who are already familiar with Ethereum and blockchain, and they're looking at white papers, and it's kind of boring. My audience on TikTok is about 80% women between 25 and 55 years old, a lot of them with means, and we talk a lot about just financial stuff. Um, and this is an untapped market. So being able to, but they're not interested in boring white papers. They're just not. So I catch them with the humor and reel them in, and then they're going to more likely want to learn more because it makes them feel good because it makes them happy. So the proof of concept was with Charles Hoskinson. It's absolutely hilarious. I was not expecting him to go along with it, but you can tell that someone like him, and I know he's like very similar to a lot of people in that like leadership level of blockchain technology, and especially Ethereum, because of course Vitalik is the holy grail, and he's who I want to get on the radar with. But really, any of the Ethereum leaders, showing them in a new light as witty and just sort of the cultural uh, backbone of Ethereum, and hopefully get them to kind of just be awkward and silly and approachable, and not looked at as just this super complicated or somebody that is untouchable kind of thing. And yeah, so not to ramble, but I'm just really grateful to be able to explain that to you. And the money, the funding isn't just sort of retroactive to what I've been doing for 5 years. It is truly to run this production. I have a director, I have a co-producer, and the idea is to go to as many conferences as possible where most of these Ethereum leaders will be, so that I can get more than one, and utilize an Airbnb setup studio with our 3 cameras, pay my director, pay my co-producer, and make this the absolute cultural show of our time, because no one's doing it, and I want to make people laugh.
And I love it. I've actually been to your website and seen all
Okay.
of these things. And I actually had watched the Charles Hoskinson before, and I've been following you on TikTok for quite some time.
Why did you make me go through all that? I'm just kidding.
It seemed like you were on a roll. Like you have it down. You were giving your pitch. It was lovely.
I'm really excited to so I'm the
Anyway,
emotional one in the group.
before you before you go on another roll, my
Sorry.
question was like, what keeps the lights on for you now? Is it content creation? Is your
No.
income? That's your bread and butter? Like, what
No,
is
I
it
have
you're
lots
doing?
of revenue streams. I'm actually a software
Yeah, that's kind
engineer.
of what I was interested in. Like more of the background of Brooke, not the background of the
Okay.
project. I
My
found that.
bad. Well, and I don't want to take up the other people's time as well. I see Evan here. And Natalie, my girl Natalie. I am a software engineer. I have been in software development since the 90s. I'm more of a technical advisor at this point. But yeah, right now I'm helping a team build a mobile app that is going to be like sort of a reward system um, for ride sharing. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I have a software engineering background, very much into the technical, but I also do a lot of DevRel. So truly my passion is taking the complicated and making it less complicated. And yeah, and the content creation is secondary for me. It's one of those things that like I realized I was good at it, and I do have brand deals. I have quite a few brand deals with different companies where I do UGC content for them for their internal company um, instructional videos, and I kind of have like a DevRel as a service company that I've done some stuff for Avalanche, for MoonPay, for Fairside, quite a few different projects where it's just kind of the boring, like YouTube video style, where I go through and actually explain their software and infrastructure. But it's kind of like that's not the sexy part of my life. So the content creation is, of course, maybe that's not the right word. That's the one people want to know about the most, because technically my other life is pretty boring, not as funny.
Thank you
I
very
also
much.
have a 21-year-old son. I move back and forth between Idaho and Phoenix. What else would you like to know? I'm very proud of my son. He's like the greatest human on earth, and I'm proud of myself for raising him.
Is he in
He's the
college?
reason he graduated high school early, and he did 2 years at a community school, and then got his certificate for being a mental health technician. I'm not going to cry, but this man is a mental health technician at a local dual diagnosis um, mental health, but also behavioral, like developmental disabled, so nonverbal violent behavior, and he is the nighttime mental health technician, and he's like just the greatest human. Like I don't know of anyone who does that job and loves it. He takes care of people, and I did that. I raised him.
Nice, thank you for sharing, Brooke.
Yes.
Let's give the stage also to some other folks who joined here. Hello, DeFi Prince. Hello, Ivan. And hello, Natalie, Renee, Violin. Welcome to Town Hall. The floor is yours for anyone who wants to jump in and share. This is being recorded and will be published in our YouTube channel as always.
I'm glad to defer to someone else because my ask would simply be what I said last week. I would love to continue hearing anybody who has them suggestions or feedback for, like Brooke asked, folks that we can share in content topics we can share as we endeavor to tell a better story about Ethereum. So if you've got interesting ideas or platforms, people, products that you think are an important part of that service, the story that we can serve, don't hesitate to send them to us. That's been my favorite part about this process, has been how collaborative everybody is. So you can DM me here, you can message me on Twitter, and I'm a representative, if you don't know me, for Rise Up Media. Our project is Ethereum in plain English, which is kind of an ethnocentric way to say we want to make many, many pieces of content that will help people discover this story for the first time and then engage with it in a way that motivates them to keep going. So would love to hear.
Yeah, actually, I shared this platform earlier with Brooke. For those who want to continue their fundraising journey after Octant, with a caveat, and I must always warn this: like, don't fall into the fundraising loophole that you like only fundraise and don't execute. Happens a lot. it's very easy to fall into that. So with that sort of disclaimer, this is a really cool platform that I feel should, the story should be told more. I think it can make a quite fun video. It's a sort of like fundraising platform that's completely permissionless, and like some pretty cool projects fundraise here, like very community. I don't know if it's the right word, but like grassrooted community efforts where use this platform, like Constitution DAO. Maybe some of you remember from back in 2018, I think it was, or like Assange DAO. I mean, they raised funds for the Tornado Cash lawsuit here in this platform, and a bunch of other stuff. Like really, if you dig into it, like the more and more cool stuff. I think they even raised funds to buy like the Shrek original soundtrack with Juicebox. That money, I don't know if that was successful or what happened there, but a bunch of cool stories from there. So, and it's an awesome platform that keeps evolving in a very also, let's say, community-oriented way, like no VC money or anything like that, and had quite some success, at least in the earlier days. So maybe that's a good one. Yeah, Joke Race, you want to talk about it, Tony?
Sure. I mean, I love Joke Race and I love Juicebox too. Like those are two very awesome, funding avenues that are completely permissionless, open to everybody to jump in, raise funds, do things fully on chain, Web3, love them. Joke Race is really, really kind of goofy fun. There was even a Joke Race for Octant. What do we do? We did several of them. Did the design for Ethereum contest for the last Epoch. And before that, there was a Joke Race with the Climate Coordination Network to do things. But anyway, Joke Race, all it is, you can make up any contest you want and allow people to join up, and you join and people vote with some money. The fees go to the winner and to the person that set it up. So you can put it however you want to distribute those funds when you're setting up your contest. And I think a certain portion always goes to the Joke Race platform, but the ETH then gets distributed out to the winners of who get voted on the most. So you could have content Joke Race. Everybody puts forth their best content, and maybe there could be an Octant one for this round, just for a fun idea. For everybody puts up your best content, we all get on there and we vote for that one piece of content in a Joke Race. You get a little extra funding. Or for every content creator, we could open it up to everyone. But that would be a cool thing, I think. For Evan, you were talking about things that people have not really heard of enough. Web3 people, I think, kind of know Joke Race. Outside of it, I don't know how much people really know. And I don't know if enough Web3 people know about Joke Race.
I am friends with David, and I participated in Joke Games earlier this year, which was sort of like their, attempt to sort of publicize and do more with it by having a couple of concentrated contests. And I hesitated at that time to talk about it a ton on the show, but I told David, they're doing the blockchain Cup right now for university blockchain organizations, and I just got in the chat with the different university representatives. I'm thinking that might be a better way to talk about it. I was hesitant to talk about my own inclusion in joke games because, as you might imagine, it's a lot of the folks in my audience are curious or skeptical about crypto and learning about it for the first time. And most algorithm-driven content is oriented around what you should buy and not around how to become a safe, confident crypto user. And so I really hesitate to do too much content that doesn't have enough context around helping people understand it. I feel like it's sort of a level 2 play. I do think it's appealing to consumers, but I think the user experience of it would be a liability for my mother, who may not understand the dynamics of a market or have ever participated in something like that before. So I was thinking that I would reach out to whoever wins the university blockchain cup, and I would invite David to come on and talk about Joke Race as a way to also Just give it some more context. I love the idea though to have a joke race for the Epoch. I think that would be killer. When I played in joke games, what I found and what I still kind of think about David's theory about persuasion markets, though it's interesting and he's so sharp and smart, is it just seems like, especially while it's nascent, in joke games, it was really easy to just like see how the contest was going, throw a couple of bets down early on somebody potentially promising to try and influence it and get some uneven upside, or if there was like a big pot that was building and you had, I don't know, enough ETH to swing it at the end, you just deployed votes at the very end. So if we were trying to decide, for example, who we thought had the best piece of content, there could be an incentive for a sniper to pile on money at the end, regardless of how they actually felt, to win the financial prize. So I don't know how much merit something like that has as a predictor of actual sentiment, but I think it's a super novel idea and an important piece of crypto infrastructure. I love what they do. And I appreciate the suggestion too.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also agree with the UX part that it's maybe not the most intuitive one. Even I sometimes struggle to understand the dynamics, but definitely with potential, and indeed, I think it can be quite cool. I had another one that was, BankerBot. Do you know about it? It's actually pretty cool. Like it creates like a wallet for each X account, and then you can interact with it on the comments on X directly.
Yes. Do you have a connection to 0x, who built it? Because I have several other friends who are close to him. One of my good friends, Mike, works over at the base team, and it's his favorite app. I've used it before, and some of my audience members have used it. I think that would be a really good one because it's an intuitive text-based interface. I would love to have them on the platform. Do you have a connection to them?
I don't actually. I don't think so. But I'm sure they can be quite responsive if you just DM them on Twitter. I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah,
they will answer.
I think so. I think so too. And we do have a couple of other friends who are connected with them, and I think their product is so cool. That's a really consumer forward crypto use case I'm very excited about, is more smart wallets and things like that. My concern about it right now that I'd love to ask them about is when they're going to integrate something that's more oriented towards self-custody. Because right now with Banker, you've got to use it through Twitter or Telegram. And there's a vector for an attacker to get your password and then send a message that says, hey, Banker, send all my Ethereum to, whatever address. But I think it's so promising. Great idea.
Absolutely. No, yeah, totally agree. That's an issue. I'm sure they're tackling it, especially their niche was Web3 people who are like very anal about that. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for the ideas. I have to head off. I'm going to a therapy appointment. I'm packing the dogs away for the day until I get back. And I just want to say I appreciate you all for giving us the space to talk and share ideas. And for anybody who might be watching or listening who is not familiar with me or Rise Up Media, I'd love to just quickly say that we would appreciate your support in the funding round. A lot of people are building something really, really cool. But I think the pitch I would make for our impact is, there are a lot of folks who are funding a single artifact. They're building one thing. And the internet doesn't really look backwards. When you post something or you create something, it's tough for people to continue discovering it every day that goes by. And when you fund our campaign, not only are you funding accessible education oriented towards helping the folks who really get to join us, but you're funding the creation of many pieces of content. We create dozens of pieces of content every week in the places that everyday people already are. And it's the kind of content that folks like us, on-chain natives, we think appreciate the depth and nuance of, but which they could share with a teacher or a colleague or a family member. So your dollars help us not only signal that the work we've already done has value, but gives us the ability to make a lot more, hopefully very helpful content that can feature many, many of you and all our brilliant colleagues across Ethereum. So thank you for trusting me to help you tell that story. And if you have questions, you can find me everywhere by searching Evan Mann, or find us at rumshq.com. We've got a little page there that we prepared for Octant voters to get familiar with our work or connect with us or ask us questions. It's right at the top, and you'll find it no problem. So thank you again. I hope you all have a wonderful now, whether it's morning, noon, or night. I hope it's a good now for you.
Bye, Evan. Have a good day.
Bye, Natalie.
Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate you. Well, the floor is for the next one. Just keep in mind we have maybe 10, a bit more minutes. But if you want to share anything, ask questions, make comments, the floor is yours. I see the memes, violin. I'm loving them. Thanks for sharing. I see you're unmuted, but I cannot hear you. I don't know if it's only me.
No, I can't hear you.
No, sir.
We
We
cannot
can
hear
hear
you.
you. Maybe you need to close the app and log in again, or no?
Yeah, sometimes Discord is buggy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Every time.
Solo all the time.
What about you, Natalie? Do you want to share anything or ask any
Yeah, I
questions?
can't look. I hear garbage trucks and vacuums. Un momento. Damn. Like everyone want to do noise at the same time. Yeah. So my project is called Fork. I'm producing and directing a hopefully an 8-episode, maybe more, documentary series telling the story of how telling the story of Ethereum communities across the globe. I think the surface level of content in this industry is really like pseudo celeb driven, or we have all the like quote unquote hype content, as I like to call it. But I don't think that's appealing to like people, especially that are not already here. And so like I'm looking to produce um a documentary series similar in the vein of like Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. There's a garbage. You guys can hear the garbage check is coming right now. Parts Unknown / like Vice, something that's high quality, a high production value, and also very entertaining and interactive. Because at the end of the day, like if we want to attract people to this industry, but jargon is not going to do that, and neither is kind of the hype content. Because if you don't already live here, it doesn't make sense to people. So I just have kind of connected with people over the last like several years that I've been in space. I onboarded literally whole regions and countries of people. We also introduced like film and photography and like all these like verticals via NFTs.tips and onboarded like tens of thousands of people. And we did that because we made it accessible. We had language access while many other communities didn't at the time. And so through those like relationships I've had, I've been able to secure some local partners in Colombia and Jamaica. I spent a lot of time onboarding people in the Caribbean and elsewhere, and also in Nairobi, which will be the feature of our first episode. We're also throwing a rock festival at the same time, one of the first of its kind, well, punk rock festival. And I'll be also like onboarding people at the same damn time. So I think it's important to like also get out of the mold of like what we've been producing in the space. And so I'm really leaning on my 15 years of like production and doing kind of content stuff and my relationships as well to like build this kind of documentary series. Because I don't believe we've told that story, and if we have, it hasn't been done well in my opinion. So I'm just kind of sticking out on a branch to do something different. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Natalie. As always, feel free to share any links or updates or anything in the project shield zone here on Discord. I'm pretty sure GLM holders are checking those. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Violin, do you think your audio is fixed now?
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yay! Yes.
Yeah, we hear
That's
you.
great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm actually in Shanghai now. We have kickstarted, well, haven't kickstarted. It's 1 a.m. right now. We are going to kickstart our East Shanghai hackathon later this morning. And it would be between 17 October to the 21st of October. And then we have our East Shanghai conference on the 22nd of October. So it is going to be really hectic for the rest of my team over the next 5 days. And we're so looking forward to it. Yeah. And I think with this Octant Epoch round, we are honestly really happy and really appreciative that we're part of this round because each panda doesn't get to participate in many Octant rounds. And actually, a lot of our community members want to learn more about what quadratic funding is, and they want to know how to support public goods and other projects in the ecosystem. And because a lot of so-called tokens are not allowed to be discussed in, for example, mainland. So this is kind of a barrier for people to understand what actually Octant does, how do people actually use, GLM staking to put that into good use and support public good projects. So we'll be actually quite interested in having some sort of education material around that. And also, we just kickstarted talking about education. We just kickstarted our trustless agent co-learning initiative, and we have very overwhelming applications on GitHub. So we're hosting like this workshop with Marco, who is the author of ERC 8004 Trustless Agents. And if you want to know more about what this ERC is doing or how to apply for it, how to apply it in your DApp, just feel free to check out ETHPanda's GitHub. I'll share a link to the co-learning intensive co-learning program on Trustless Agent. Unfortunately, registration has closed now, but of course, you can keep up with what is being discussed and what kind of workshops are being put up. Those workshops will be on Luma, and people can sign up if they want. So I'll be putting those links on the project show zone after this. Apart from this, I hope that if you are a GLM token holder and you're listening, please do allocate to Epoch 9 projects. And of course, that includes ETHPanda. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Violin. Appreciate you. And good luck with the hackathon today. I wish I was there.
Thank you.
I love those things, but I'm on the other side of the world right now. But I'm sure it's going to be a success. And yeah, looking forward to see what people hack and any updates you have. Feel free to share them in the Project Shield zone. Yeah, we have 5 more minutes. Anyone else who wants to share anything or ask questions?
Yeah, just a quick thing. I hope people can equitably allocate to projects and really look for projects. Octant has been doing amazing work, and there's many others out there, and there's projects that may not be able to go out into the community at any given time and raise $3-4 million. So I just ask people to really look at the projects that may need a little bit more support than others, and to really amplify all the projects, because these people in this epic are, some of them I know personally, like Brooke and some others, like amplify them, retweet their project updates and like all that other stuff for those of you who are listening, because it really counts. And I know that they deserve all the support as possible. So my cat's running amok. Let me go.
Yeah, absolutely. Please support the projects. I personally don't allocate equally, so um, yeah, I'm always keen to hear what people have to say and what special thing they tickle in me to vote for them. I think someone wanted to unmute.
What do you mean by that, Nico? You're not allocate equally. How? So what's your decision process? Like what? Someone tickling you? You mentioned. What do you like? What's the reason why you allocate to a project? Let's say in the last few rounds, even.
I
Or
don't
why
have
not?
like a very set process, to be honest. It's more about like my personal preferences. What I personally see can have more impact, or is somehow more closer to me. If not like from a personal perspective, let's say not from relationship or friendship perspective, but more from like the story perspective. What hits home the most. But yeah, everyone's free to allocate however they want, right?
Yep.
All right. Any last minute thoughts, comments, questions? All right. I think we can conclude this town hall then. Thank you so much for coming, for the ones who already left and shared as well. And appreciate you all and wish you success in this ongoing Epoch 9 allocation window. Stay tuned. We have amazing news coming up. So yeah, we're looking forward to sharing that with all of you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.